Hello and welcome. I'm Debbie Bergio. One of the most difficult decisions we might have to make in our lifetime is whether or not we or a loved one are still safely able to live in our current home. Fortunately, today there are a lot of options. I am with John Crow, the Director of Sales of Sunrise Columbia. John is an expert in this area, and I'm so glad you are here to join us today.
Thanks, Deb.
So, John, will you please tell us about Sunrise and all the wonderful things that it offers?
Sure. Well, the fact of the matter is Sunrise basically started the whole assisted living concept. It was a young couple, Paul and Terry Clausen, over in McLean, Virginia, of all places. And they basically, her mom was in a nursing home, and we all have been to visit a loved one in a nursing home, and we all know what that's about and what that looked and felt like. And however, he grew up in the Netherlands and remembers going to see his grandmother in what was called their nursing cottages. And they really got the vision to, let's set up a place and a community type atmosphere where activities, fun, meals, really good restaurant, style food, all of that stuff. Let's set up communities where that's just as important as care.
Oh, wow.
So they literally opened up their little rancher in McLean, Virginia, and it was a 4-bedroom, I guess it was, or something. So they brought in their first 2 or 3 residents and started doing all that. And then they also then grew to the point where they actually bought an abandoned nursing home to kind of give credibility to how bad those nursing homes were back there. Then it took 2 years for them to get it acceptable for folks to come back and live in.
Oh my goodness.
So it just, so it kind of proves the point of what it was like then. This is 1976 when all this started.
Okay.
So, and then they grew there and bought a Civil War era mansion out in Leesburg, Virginia, and converted that to assisted living. Now we're in the year 2020, and there's 370 Sunrises around the world.
Wow.
They're in Canada, we're in the United Kingdom, but obviously most of the Sunrises are here in the States. So they really, because they founded the company and basically designed how the companies would operate, their real claim to fame is they came up with the idea of having designated care managers care for each resident. So what that means is that one individual primarily is taking care of 4 or 5 residents, but it provides continuity of care. It eases the transition into assisted living, because as I say to families, we don't know each other real well right now, but if we spend 24 hours a day, or at least 8 hours a day, every day for a week, we'll know each other really well. And that's kind of what happens with these designated care managers. The residents become their new grandma and grandpa, aunt and uncle, and these care managers become their new grandchildren. So it's, but the advantage there, like I said, is it provides the residents a real nice feel for getting integrated into the community. But from especially in this day and age right now, if that designated care manager knows that resident really well, so if they go in a resident's room this morning and they've got a cough and they're kind of achy or whatever, they'll know that that's a changing condition, and we can immediately get doctors. Our nurses have full-time nurses here, and we're really blessed. One of our lead, we call them resident care directors, worked for 13 years in Howard County's emergency room. So there's nothing she hasn't seen, and no doctor within 40 miles that she doesn't know. So it's so it really works well with the way we staff and the way we do things here.
Excellent. So you have both assisted living and memory care there?
Yes, we do. We have actually one of the largest memory care places in the country. Well, no, in this area, I guess, meaning. And we currently have 38 residents in memory care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to brag about our people a little bit. Finda Soli, so it's like Linda with an F, has been here 21 years as our coordinator in memory care. She's mama bear up there. So she's loving and kind, and also makes sure everybody gets what they need. Our assisted living coordinator, Shelly's been here for 20 years. So in this building. So a funny story I tell people, when I first interviewed here, I went around and kind of asked people, how long you been here? How long you been here? 18 years, 20 years, 21 years. So when I went back, and my wife goes, hey, how'd the interview go? And I went, it went really well, but something is going on at Sunrise of Columbia. Either the people really like working there, or they're putting something in the coffee. And as long as I go home every night happy and I don't really have any side effects, it works out great. So, and what also sets us apart is we do what's called variable staffing. So we, with that designated care manager, develop an individual service plan for each resident, hour by hour, day by day, what care they need, if they don't need care. We're in an interesting situation right now where half the residents here aren't on any care. And so it's a real independent group, movie nights and all that sort of stuff, card games, much more of an active group. We take residents normally in normal times to like Toby's Dinner Theater. But because we have an individual service plan in place, we know how much care we're going to provide hour by hour in the entire building. So we staff accordingly. So we'll have 7 or 8 people on the floor in assisted living. We always have about 9 for those 38 residents in memory care. That's kind of the lowest. In the morning, we have closer to 12. And what that does is that allows us to literally be able to offer total care. We're the only company around that offers total care. And that, again, was a founding principle. The founders wanted the philosophy of age in place, meaning once you move here, you won't have to leave. We coordinate hospice services. We do all of that. And that's because of the way we staff. Fact of the matter is that if one of our residents needs total care, so they need 2 people helping them. Well, if I'm in another community by another company, and we've heard this just because we've moved residents in from there, is that they have 3 care managers for 42 people. Well, I can't have 2 people in one room helping one resident and have 41 other people waiting to be cared for.
Sure. You were, so during this time of the COVID-19, I guess, have your responsibilities there shifted and changed?
Yes, I had never wanted to be in food service in my life, and that's kind of my life now. Because from a safety perspective, we're delivering food to the residents in their room just to keep them safe. And one of the things that's interesting is that I've always heard that these designated care managers really know their residents well. Well, I've seen that in action, because I'll be putting a tray together for breakfast, and I'll have a coffee, 1 cream and a sugar, and 1 thing of syrup because they ordered French toast. And the designated care manager for that resident will stop me and say, She needs 2 creams, not 1. She
Mhm.
doesn't eat real sugar. She wants equal, and she wants 2 of those, and she loves syrup, so put 2 on her plate. I mean, literally down to that level. And I've just been amazed at, I mean, literally, I ask any care manager about their resident. It's like, oh, no, they don't take her. Oh, she doesn't like anything like that. Oh, bring that up. And it's just been a phenomenal experience. Now, one of the other things I've been really reaching out to families, at least we've been engaged with in the past, is really offering to be a resource for them. You know,
Mhm.
Howard County, well, the state of Maryland just, instituted a month or so ago where they'll call in on every elder. And I've been helping families get that set up for, their moms and dads. I mean, my dad's 92, going to be 92 in December, and he's now on that call. And of course, he's an independent senior. I don't need anybody to call me in the morning to find out if I'm okay. Okay, Dad. So, but they do. And so that's kind of what my job has shifted to in the last month or so.
I'm sure. So if I have a loved one, a parent who we think needs to come into assisted living or memory care, how do we start that process?
Well, first of all, I always suggest they come in and visit. Right now, we're doing virtual tours like this,
Mhm.
and because when they come in, I tell folks visit several places because you'll know when you walk in how the place feels
Mhm.
and whether or not whether or not that's the right place for people. And
Sure.
so, because I can talk about how great we are and how we have all these independent residents and everybody loves one another, you really have to experience it. And I'd say 80% of the families that move here, when I ask them, gee, Debbie, why did you move your loved one here? I don't know. It just feels different.
Mm.
And I think that's by design because we're a Victorian mansion. So we have a very bed and breakfast feel. It's very small by today's standards for assisted living, even though we have 90 residents in the building, but really, really short halls, beautiful dining room, and it's just, and all of our food's made from scratch. Bragging about the tenure, our dining service coordinator's been here 17 years. So, I mean, I've been here 4, I'm the rookie.
You're the rookie. Okay.
I'm the rookie.
That's great. So is there anything else you'd like to share that kind of sets Sunrise Columbia apart?
Well, this particular sunrise, I did indicate earlier in our talk that we have 370 sunrises in the
Mhm.
world. For the first time, they recognized the top 8 sunrises in the world based on customer satisfaction, state surveys, health department surveys, employee surveys for satisfaction, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, everything you can imagine that would measure how well a community's doing. And we were recognized as one of the top 8 sunrises in the world.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
quite a
so
distinction.
yeah, we're really, really psyched about that. And we're the only ones even in the, you know, Delaware, Maryland, this whole region, we're the only ones that got that honor.
Wow, congratulations.
So, and
And I,
again,
I have been there. I have visited. It is a lovely, lovely place.
yeah, it's nice.
So, well, John, thank you so much for sharing really good information for people to look for when they are visiting, whether it's your facility or any place else. It is, as you know, it's a difficult time. I'm glad your father's still so independent. That's outstanding.
Yes, he is. He's not as independent as he thinks he is, but that's okay.
That's good. He's pretty feisty, I
He's
guess.
supposed to. Yep.
So thank you and Sunrise for being a part of our fair. Below this video on the web page, there'll be links to Sunrise Columbia, so everybody can call you and talk to you and more information there. So just really appreciate you taking part.
Oh, thanks so much for having us as part of this. Really appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.